Welcome to MITZ TV by Bessa San Diego. Remember to like and subscribe this video down below. Also, check out the description to see the topics that we're going to cover in this episode. So first up today, we're going to be joined by Keisha Kelly of the San Diego Marriott Del Mar. Hello, Keisha. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am doing very well. So glad to see your smiling face today.
Likewise.
Such a pleasure. So I'm going to round out our panel right now for our talk shop with Miss Lydia Krasner from Mitzvah Event Productions. And we're going to also bring in Roxi Link from the Party Link. So, hi, ladies. How are you guys doing today?
Awesome. Thank you.
So thank you guys so much for joining us today for MITZ TV. So today we are going to be discussing with Keisha kind of what was going on over at the Marriott Del Mar and some of the new safety protocols they're doing and some of the social distancing menus that they have right now that they are coming up with. So Keisha, I would love to hear a little bit about the social distancing menus. So if you can start there maybe.
Absolutely. Yes, it's something we've recreated. We have to keep in mind now wrapped food. So, anything that can be put into containers. So it's salads that are pre-packaged. It's sandwiches that are pre-wrapped. We're pre-wrapping. It's a lot of bagged items. Now, there's a lot of talk about hot food. Now, there definitely is ways to do buffets that we have talked about, and it's one-touch buffet. So it's our servers handling the food with sneeze guards up. So again, protecting everyone. They're going through, kind of think of a Chipotle, where you go through, yes, I want the salad, I want chicken, I want fish, the rice, the mashed potatoes, and then at the end, you hand the plate over to the client. So there's definitely ways to do hot food. There's definitely ways to do buffets. So, it's great that we're able to explore that and make that happen. So we're not too concerned, still having those hot plated meals is still, again, having that one touch in the back, lid service coming out and having those plates come out. So, it's just getting creative on the food. Our menus are a little bit more simplified for the time being. But again, we will customize. We'll do whatever you guys are looking for. And, as these restrictions lift, we'll be able to do more. So just know it's not to the rest of the year or until next year. We all want to get back to that normal. So.
Absolutely. But we're taking the precautions right now. So when we actually do have that measure to open up and we're actually allowed to go out there, that you guys are ready to roll. You guys are ready to rock out with this, with this. And so,
I have
wonderful.
A question.
Lydia.
Keisha, what about interactive dessert stations? In the past, you've had the ice cream bar for the kids, the s'more station. What is that going to look like? Because that's such a fun activity to add to an event.
Absolutely. And see that we're looking at all of that because, and again, that's now outsourcing it through you guys, through the Bessa community and with all of the vendors and everything that you guys do. And that's where we're going to team up together. And that's where we're going to work together. And I'm sure you guys are already putting things into place and seeing how we can make this. Maybe it looks a little bit different and it's wrapped candies now at this candy station. Maybe, that's where we're going to have to really get creative, thinking outside the box, and still having a great display. It's just going to look a little different.
Yeah.
Keisha, what are you thinking about as far as seating? As far as how many can sit?
Great question. So I've definitely been playing around with seating capacity, seating charts. That's another thing that I've been recreating during this time. And we have to look at that. So give you an example, a 72-inch round. Across that's about 6 feet. So if you're having couples, you would put 2 couples at a table. That's going to take a little bit more planning on the planner's part and the client's part, because again, it's not always couples, it's not always even numbers. So that's where, again, it's going to take a lot of that work. And again, I don't think everyone's thought up through that. I have, but this is where
we're working on it.
Right. And we'll
a lot of centerpieces too.
Right. But see all of that. And that's where we really have to think about that. What does that setup look like? we know the kids really didn't sit down and eat much before, and did we really need tables, at the actual mitzvahs for the kids? Maybe it's looking at different things. Maybe it's a little bit more belly bars, cocktail tables, individual sofas that, again, there's so many things to look at. But I have recreated all of the charts on all of the ballrooms. We know we have to be flexible. What we could put in the ballroom before, we cannot for the time being. So when somebody comes, with 100 people, you're instantly going to be in that large grand ballroom. There's no more talk of being in that smaller ballroom downstairs. So we are fully aware of all of that. And just being open to everything and re-looking at all of our space to see how can we truly maximize this. And again, the big thing is getting creative.
So a question there then too. So even for like the bar service, so is looking just the same way with just the sneeze guard in front for them and just one touch as well?
You've got it. Absolutely. I think that sneeze guard is going to play a huge role in all of our service. You're going to see gloves. You're going to see masks from our staff as well. For that extra level, that PPE, it's so important to have all of that. And it just gives everyone a little bit more comfort, and it's required right now. So that's, some of the things that I'll get into with our CARE Act. But you will definitely see that. You'll see hand sanitizer stations inside the meeting rooms, in the hallways, elevator landings. These are all of those things we've put into place. Not to get off topic, but talking about elevators, it's one elevator ride per person. It's not, okay, we're going to get the whole group in. So we look at everything and having that signage up and directing people. And, it's just that new awareness that we all have and we're all now training for. So,
yeah. What about the dance floor?
Absolutely. So again, this is where it's just more space. You're going to need that larger dance floor. And again,
by 60 dance floor now.
And we have large dance floors that we would just divide up. You never needed those large dance floors, but now it's a new day of time. We're going to need more tables. When we start looking at all of this, and we even look at meetings, and you look at classroom style, it's one person per 6-foot table now. And, we realize that and we understand that. So it's dividing up all of our rooms and putting up air walls and getting smaller meetings, because that's really what we're going to see for the time being. You're not going to see the 100-person meetings for the time being. So we understand we're going to have to increase some of our supplies. That's just the nature of the game right now. And we're fully aware of that. So we're looking at all of our inventory.
Absolutely. And is valet still an option? Is that something that is for special events? Is that something that will be offered at all?
We haven't gotten to that piece yet, to be honest with you guys. I hear a lot of talks on a lot of the calls, that should go away. We have not broached that subject yet. So it's anything's possible at this point. Again, you have to look at that one touch, how do we keep everybody safe and what's the best way to do it? So more to come on that. And as we know more, I'll definitely share more with you guys.
But at your hotel in particular, self-parking is pretty easy and pretty accessible, which is nice. They're not all that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very easy there where you can just you're right on the level of where the ballrooms are when you self-park, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. And so any other questions from you ladies, Lydia or Roxy, at this moment?
Are you promoting more plated meals rather than dealing with the stations, if you will?
Really when you talk about events per se, we can go either way. Again, plated is what we did before. We did buffets for the kids. It's definitely going to be, I would encourage still the kids to have the buffet because that's a lot easier, and just do the one touch and have that be the same. We don't have to change things that much, I feel. We have to make tweaks. We have to make changes, but it shouldn't feel that different.
What about tray pass? Because the servers would be normally walking around with a tray. Are all of your appetizers now going to be stationary?
Right. So that's another thing we've talked about as well is, how can we right now safely pass around and tray pass food, having it open? At this point, you can't. So it is going to be more of those displayed covered food. Again, attendant. I think that is the big thing that we really have to look at and focus at moving forward.
And I also am concerned about the line for the bar. 6 feet apart, you're going to have a huge line that goes all the way around the room.
Right. We're going to have a couple bars set up. We're going to have
multiple bars to accommodate.
Absolutely. Keep those lines down. I mean, the lines were always an issue before all of this, right? We never want to get to wait in lines. So
but even you can't tray pass wine, or can you? What if you were covered with saran wrap on it?
Right. And again, we kind of giggle at this stuff, but when we talk about in the morning with fruit, we're going to put fruit in a cup with a lid. Maybe that is what it looks like. Maybe we do have it with that saran wrap, so we know where we're putting our mouth is clean. Mm-hmm. So we kind of say it and laugh, but that could be the reality. That might be the best practice for us. So
yeah, I think you could do that with wine, tray passing wine, and if you had to put a cover over it, plastic wrap or something, that would work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like those paper ones, almost like an upside down muffin cup.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's just the extra assurance.
And it has the paper right up, just resting right on top of it. So, I mean, there's definitely, and I think this is why it's so important for us to keep doing this and keep that conversation flowing, because not one person's going to create this whole perfect, new normal. So it's just going to take throwing out ideas and someone say, yeah, let's try it. Why not? Let's do this. And testing and pushing that envelope safely, but seeing what we can do.
Yeah. Right. There's so many changes that are going to come down the pipeway and that we're pipeline. I'm sorry, that we're kind of anticipating right now. And so it's so wonderful. And there's an assurance to hear that a local business such as the Marriott Del Mar is already kind of in the front seat right now, and they're kind of guiding that car into where they need to make that go. So I think that's something that something extra special to look at with your venue there. So thank you so much for presenting that with us today. So I am going to wrap up our Talk Shop segment right now. Thank you so much, Keisha from the Marriott Del Mar, for joining us. Also Lydia from Mitzvah Event Productions and Charming Expressions, and also Roxi Link from the Party Link. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. This has been a wonderful and incisive talk shop, kind of just looking at what is going on right now with the future, and that not all hope is lost. We actually have, a game plan, and that we are going to be going into the future, and that we still want to party with you. We still want to make some magic for your special event. We just want to do it safely. So it's really, really wonderful to know that this is something that's part of our team over here at BESA. Thank you again. This has been another episode of MITZ TV.